Welcome to another episode of Delayed but Not Denied, the podcast. On tonight, me and my guest, Miss Didi, will be talking about hydrocephalus. This is Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. But before we begin, we want to go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now asking you to be in the midst of the conversation, asking you to reach the people that need to hear it, reach their ears and their hearts, Father God, that they'll receive what it is that you need them to receive from this message tonight. And it's in your Son, Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So, um, Didi, how are you?
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm great. I am great. I am
And
great.
I'm no longer guessing. You've been
So,
to somebody's house for a long time. You ain't no longer guest, baby girl. You go right to the refrigerator and have a seat.
yeah,
I am now.
you are my co-host. You are the co-host. But I wanted to give a definition of what hydrocephalus is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a condition where there's an excessive acclimation of cerebral spinal fluid in the brain's ventricles.
Mm-hmm.
This buildup of fluid can cause increased pressure on the brain, leading to various symptoms and complications.
Mm-hmm.
Hydrocephalus can be caused by several factors, which include blockage of CSF flow. This can occur due to tumors, infections, head injuries, or congenital malformations. Um, Overproduction of CSF, and it says although rare, some conditions can lead to increased production of CSF. Impaired absorption of CSF. The body's ability to absorb CSF can be impaired in certain conditions such as meningitis or a certain type of hemorrhage can take place. And the symptoms the symptoms of hydrocephalus can vary depending on the severity and location of the blockage. Common symptoms include headache, nausea and vomiting, confusion, cognitive problems, my bad, seizures, irritability, sleep disturbances, enlargement of the head, especially in children, difficulty walking or coordinating movements, loss of bladder control, and vision problems. Hydrocephalus is typically diagnosed through a physical exam, medical history, and brain imaging tests such as an MRI or CT scan. These tests can reveal the presence of enlarged ventricles and identify the underlying cause of the fluid buildup. So, um,
That's a lot, ain't it?
it is. And the
That's a
treatment
lot.
The treatment for hydrocephalus usually involves surgery to place a shunt. A shunt is a thin tube that drains the excess CSF from the ventricles into another part of the body, such as the abdomen or perineal cavity. In some cases, medication can be used to reduce CSF production or improve its absorption. So, um, I was an adult when I learned that I had hydrocephalus. Been having it all my life. Didn't know it till I became an adult. Um, Never had to have any revisions. Um,
God bless.
it- but it's not a blessing because I have um gone without the correct type of care
Mm-hmm.
for so many years to the point where um they feel
It won't touch
like
it.
they feel like
Mm-hmm.
if they try to do
Oh, yeah, it's
surgery, I
not a
could
blessing.
hemorrhage and bleed. Yeah.
Because of
So
where they have it positioned. Mine is from the top of my head to my abdomen, but it doesn't go my heart. See, where they have yours positioned, that's not safe. Who would do that? because normally the ones are from the top all the way down to your abdomen, and then
Yeah.
it goes like around your heart. It doesn't go in and through. So I'm like, who does that?
Mine is in a
I
ventricle.
Yeah, and that's not safe. So yeah, if they did surgery for you, God love. Yeah, we just gonna pray that you be okay. Cause listen, I need you,
I've
sis.
been o- I've
Okay,
been okay for 46 years.
I'm gonna
So
need you, sis. If we riding this out.
so I
But
wanted
yeah,
I wanted to talk to you about hydrocephalus and how it affects your life.
whew, hydrocephalus in my life. Well, of course, some may know, some may not know, because I think I was on after the last surgery, but I just celebrated a year of the last shunt revision I had on July 18th. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, how do we remember just that particular date? Why
Right.
do I remember that day like it's a freaking anniversary? But it is. But I probably celebrated the maybe the fifth or sixth one I've had. I've had so many now that it's like you don't really know how many, and you can't keep up with how many. But I love the fact that you read off the symptoms and you read off the description, because the interesting part is my symptoms used to be straight borderline of what you read.
Mhm.
Mine was just like that. This time around, God said, "No, I need you to do something else." I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea what was the reason for it until after the fact. But the reason why my shunt needed to be revised is because my blood pressure was high. They
Mm.
literally thought I was having, every time I took my blood pressure, usually when I took my blood pressure, I just put my hand up and then it goes back down. This time it would not even go back down. It was just that high. My body was saying, "No, lady, something's wrong with you." And I got sick. I got into my first place. My cousin helped me get in my first place, and then I got sick. So I thought it was food poisoning, or maybe the flu or something. But I said, "Nah, this Erling ain't where it's at." So I
Right.
called her. She called the ambulance. She knew I had a shunt, so she let them know she got a shunt. Y'all need to come get her ASAP. And when they got me, they immediately did all the X-rays and trying to make sure that what's going on. Da 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 da. And it turned out the ER doctor still not looking at it correctly, because no, he says, "Oh, well, your shunt is kink." No, I know symptoms for kink. That wasn't kink. I said, but okay, it's whatever. Because I already knew by then I was going to go see my neurosurgeon that I already see anyway. So I was like,
Right.
it's whatever. So I stayed overnight just to make sure I could, they wanted to make sure I could sleep or whatever. Stayed overnight. My cousin came back and got me, and we went back home. So the next Monday, I was like scheduling ASAP to see my neurosurgeon. And of course, I have to schedule ahead of time because you got to schedule transportation, et cetera, et cetera. But my cousin took me this time so I could schedule that week. And so I went to see him. He's known me since I was 15. He's known my adopted mom. You know what I'm saying? He knew my mama didn't play about my health.
Right.
So he immediately, when he came in the door, was like, "D, what you doing here?" I said, "Well, Dr. Ward, I think there's something wrong with the shunt." Now, the doctor said in the ER that it's kink. I said, "But I know better than that." So, of course, they do the standard, check your eyes, check your da-da-da, and he checked right up in here. And it
Yeah.
had, being that the hospitals were connected, it was able to see the x-ray. So he looked it up, and he sat there for a minute, and he said, "It's broke." I said, "It's what?" He said, "It's broke." I said, "Can it do that?" He said,
Right.
"Yeah." He said, "Yeah, because he said, when was the last one you had done before this?" And I said, "Probably 93, 94, 95, somewhere in that arena. 90, maybe 94, 95, I'm thinking. Because it's been so long." And he said, "Yeah, it's broke." He said they get wear and tear, and they break. If you don't have to have them revised, they break. So the shunt actually broke from this part of my neck.
Mhm.
And if you get a straw and cut it in half, that's exactly what it looked like.
Oh wow.
Exactly. It would look like it was a straw cut in half. So he was like, most people can be all right with it for a few years, da 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 da, before they get real sick. He said, "But you, no, we can just fix ASAP." I was like, okay. Before I knew it, next week I was in the emergency room. I mean, in the OR, getting ready to have the procedure done. And he was just like, He didn't do the procedure because he's older now, so he's
Right.
basically just an advisor. But he made sure that I had the best care I was supposed to have, and I made sure I had the best care I was supposed to have, and God made sure I had the best care I was supposed to have. Because I promise you, when I met that surgeon, I looked right him in his face and I said, "Now I know you ain't Dr. Ward. I know you're not, but I'm gonna need you to channel everything that man taught you into you because I'm not playing with you. I don't play about my head. I don't play about my back. When it comes to spinal bifida, you
Yeah.
gotta be real good for me to be one you cut me in those areas because that's not stuff we play with. So he
Right.
was like, no, he was like, you laugh. Because you know, some surgeons try to be serious. I'm like, no, you gonna laugh today because we ain't gonna be that serious. We're gonna be serious, but we ain't gonna be that serious, okay? So he started laughing. He was like, this chick right here. I'm just saying, so. So he was actually really, really great. And he was like, when he did it, well, after he did, he was like, I'm trying not to cut too much of hair. I said, I don't care, it's already short. I deliberately wear my hair short because I know the shunt acts up when it feels like it wants to act up. And if I get
Right.
a good hairstyle and I gotta cut it, I'm gonna be mad.
Right.
So yeah, I make sure my hair is deliberately short. So even now, this is my hat. If I like to call it. You don't like to say it like that, but this is my hat. I got a lot of different hats because why? Because I like to change a little bit, but I like to look cute. so he cut my hair. I had the surgery that night and was in my hospital room at midnight. At midnight. Yeah, at midnight. And I had to stay in the hospital for like 2 days because Medicare insurance, they don't act like they want to keep you in no longer if you can halfway move around, which I was fine with because I was like, okay, it's whatever because I had just gotten to my own apartment. So I hadn't even enjoyed my own place to have to go back into a hospital.
Right.
So I was good with, okay, I can go home, okay, bye. So basically, a lot of the care that I had to do after for recovery was done at home. They had a home health nurse come in like three times a week. They had a physical therapist come in with me, to see me. But that was about it. But that was a blessing because I found out I can actually possibly walk again through the physical
And
therapy.
you will. And you
I
will.
will in
You
Jesus'
in Jesus' name you will
name.
walk again.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna ask you, with prior revisions, did you have like any symptoms that let you know you needed to have your shunt revised?
Mhm. Majority of my symptoms have. That's why I knew this one was different because the majority of my symptoms usually are the vomiting, the migraine headache. I mean, like nothing you can take can help any of that. If
Right.
you are in a fetal position crying because you can't get rid of this blessed headache.
Right.
Um, Basically those were the majority of my symptoms. I might have had temperatures when I was younger. I didn't know. My mom, took care of that because she was a nurse. But I believe majority of what I remember were really bad headaches and throwing up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing I did at this injunction was vomit. It was like my body said, "Okay, we where you need to be. Now we're gonna get you to the hospital."
Right.
And the thing about it that was crazy is that the doctor said that I had lived in Florida with my ex husband for like 4 years, and the doctors was like, "Your shunt was broken in Florida." Excuse me. I said, "How? What? Nobody told me that." He said it was broke. We saw it. Then we saw the last X-rays they did. They had to do X-rays before I had my first carpal tunnel surgery because they
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that the shunt can withstand whatever long procedure they have to do if it's a long procedure. So
Right.
they did a shunt revision. I mean, they did an X-ray and saw that it was broke, but nobody said one word, not one single word. Nobody said go see a neurosurgeon, go follow up with somebody. Really?
Well, do you know if yours still work or not? Because for me, I've gone to different neurologists, and I've
Mhm.
had them to tell me. I've had one to tell me that it is working and it's working properly. I've had one to say, "Oh, it's just there. It served its purpose at when you were a child." Um, so the
I don't
only time
understand
we
that.
have a conversation about it is when I
Mhm.
ask about removing it.
Mhm.
And they tell me because I've had it in there since birth and never had a revision or anything like that, they don't want to
Hmm.
mess with it because they don't want me to hemorrhage and bleed.
And we don't
Um,
want that. But
yeah,
yeah.
but trying to get some type of relief it's always been hard for me. Like, um, mine is the same way. So, I mean, as far as that goes, it's it
Hmm.
behind my head, behind my ear, and it comes
Uh-huh.
down and it drains
So,
into the ventricle of my heart. But it's been a journey. It's been a journey. There's nights I can't sleep. There's days where I have been up for 3 and 4 days at a time without even
hmm,
taking a nap because it's like my body says, okay, we're not
we are.
tired. We
Yeah, we
up.
ready to roll.
And so I can't,
Yeah, yeah.
doctors have tried to prescribe medicines to help me sleep or whatever, but
Mm,
nothing has been strong enough to
to
break
help.
what the hydrocephalus is doing to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, does the hydrocephalus bother you when you try to sleep? Like I can't lay on that side for too long.
You know what is the interesting thing about that is that to answer your first question, the doctor did say that I have now a new complete working thing. They have to put like a I don't know what to call it. It's
I
like a
call it a pacemaker.
pacemaker type thing on the
Yeah,
top of your head to kind of control what fluid goes, down or whatever. And
right.
he said that particular piece that I had was fine. So the only thing that needed to be repaired was the
Oh,
tubing.
okay.
So the only thing that needed to be repaired was they need to put a new tube in, which I find sometimes very interesting because you only cut here and you didn't cut it down at the abdomen. So I'm like, how do you get that all the way down there and I ain't not none cut nowhere else? But okay, that's God.
Yeah.
Anyways, so no, I don't usually have too many issues sleeping wise with the shunt. More of my back some days. My back
Okay.
is the one that the part where because I had two back surgeries too. So the crazy part is the area that is the oldest scar is where it aches the most because he
Mm,
had to cut me twice. So I had the normal birth scar at the lower back when you first born, and then
right.
he had to go upward the last time because he had to scrape the bone off of my tether cord. So it was like
Oh,
now I got a
wow.
whole nother scar. So yeah, who wants to be cut anyway? So that's the only area that I have issues with. The shunt only causes problem when something's wrong with it by the grace of God because I don't remember it's there until it's there. Now if I get a headache, I get nervous because I'm wondering if this headache is gonna go away or
Right.
I'm gonna have to fight. But
Right.
and I usually can tell which one is which, but sometimes it tends to have its own little mindset and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay here for a little while type scenario, and you don't know it until you know it. So I really don't know it's there until something happens by the grace of God. Because yeah,
I can turn my head a certain way and I feel it. Like even with running my fingers across,
you
I
keep
can feel
messing
it.
with it, leave it alone.
Why have it stick out where I can feel it? Because
Mine stick out too, but I ain't
I want
definitely.
to touch stuff. But and that's how I am. Like, every time I get some kind of surgery, my hands automatically go to that location just
That's
to feel
understandable though.
around, I guess to see what's normal and what's not. You were talking
Yeah.
about your back surgeries. I had one, and it was the one at birth.
No,
That
I've
goes
had two.
across.
No, I had three.
That goes across three.
I had three. The last one I had was my third one because the first
Wow.
one the first one I had of course was birth. Then I
Mm,
had one when I was probably, I want to say maybe 15, maybe 15. And because of the way I stood, I, I stood where I would walk like this.
mm-hmm.
So they were trying to sit me up. So every time I walked, the girls would be, it's a party. How y'all doing? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they was trying to make sure they kind of correct that as best as they could. So that was the first one after birth. And then I had one in 20, these dates, man. Well, I do remember I probably remember the date, but I'm trying not to. 2018 is the year that I had the last one, and that was because there was my backbone was pressing on what's my tether cord, and he had to go in and scrape the bone down off of it and then retether it. And the reason why I had the symptoms from that is because my nerves was really bad. I was really hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
my whole hip was hurting, my back was hurting. I could barely move. I could barely do anything, anything. And he said he had me on medication for a while, for about maybe 2 years, and he said we're not gonna do it until you're ready to do it, because he knows I've been cut one too many times, and I'm not trying to keep being cut, so I don't have to be. I'm needing the medicine to work, and so I don't have to be cut. But it
Right.
worked for as long as it could until I was like, you know what, doc, I'm ready. Let's just get this over with, because I was tired of letting my gabapentin keep going up. I didn't want to go to another dose of gabapentin because I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to get off of this pill. So no, right now I'm still on it, but it's because I am actually on a lower dose than I was. But still, I'm like, I'm gonna need this to go away. So he did. The same guy who diagnosed my shunt being broke. Same man who did that's actually, I believe, the last surgery, or one of the last surgeries he actually did. And mine was it. My back surgery was the last one he actually did. So I'm thankful. I mean, when you have a good neurosurgeon, you don't want that man to go nowhere.
Right.
When I had to change to go to another clinic because he doesn't do surgeries, and I'm in the country, and so I have to go someplace that's close to I can get to, I was upset. I felt like he was family. I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, Dr. Roy. He's like, you gonna be okay. I'm like, nah, I want to go. I knew his secretary. You know what I'm saying? They were family. So I'm like, wait a minute, how am I gonna do this? So I was upset. But when you have a good surgeon, you ain't trying to lose nobody. But this other one you put me with, he's good too. So I'm thankful for that. But we know the real physician, so we good.
We are a part of a very large community um,
Mhm.
of people that have hydrocephalus and spina bifida.
Mhm.
Um, I have seen, I don't know if you have, but I've seen some instances where people have been fortunate enough to have their shunt removed, um,
Mhm. I
which
know
makes
one person.
me too, makes me a little
Mhm.
jealous because I want this
Me
thing out. But I do understand that it is keeping me alive and it's keeping me here um, because I still have
keeping you
work to do.
cognitive, because the
Yeah,
fluid will get that fluid getting to the brain ain't where it's at. So
right.
I'm thankful for that. I'm
Yeah,
thankful for you and me.
yeah. And I mean, just being in the community and seeing these babies with that's in like these third world countries that
Yeah,
don't have
heartbreaking.
access to the doctors that we had,
Mhm.
where their heads are extremely big and
Yeah,
swollen, and it breaks my heart
me too.
because a lot of them don't make it.
I know.
Um,
Yeah,
and
people don't
it's
realize this is a deadly. This is a deadly thing.
hmm
This is not just a shunt thing. This is a brain surgery thing. You are
hmm
actually going into somebody's head, touching their brain area and fixing the fluid
or
intake,
trying to fix it.
or trying to fix the fluid intake. So this is not, and I didn't, I never thought I realized that that was that until, like you said, I got older. I did not realize that I was actually having brain surgery. Like, I never thought that that would be the case until I
Right,
looked into it. Someone was like, "Oh wow, this is this is really serious. This could really damage me." And that's why I'm worried about my biological brother, because I'm like, God gave me the same symptoms that he currently has now, because I
oh
needed
wow,
to make sure that he has what he needs to have done. He has
right,
blood pressure issues. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm need to tell him they need to fix his son. I'm like, you can tell him call me, and they need to fix that son ASAP, because he's like you. He's had his son that he can remember all his life, but because of him not having the shunt repaired fast enough, like I did, some
hmm
of his, some of his comprehensions and things like that skills are kind of slightly off. So I gotta let
hmm
him know, listen, this ain't nothing to play with. Let's do this now, ASAP.
right,
So I'm like, okay, Father, I went through all of that. You could have given me the regular symptoms that I'm used to having. So I knew what it was. Father said, nah, we gonna go left. We just go check it over here. And I was like, okay. And then when I talked to my brother and he was having those same answers, I was shocked. I was like, okay, Father, this is what you wanted me to do. This was your plan. So you God don't play about me.
And the crazy thing is, you have a sibling that has the same thing that we have, and
Exact same thing.
I, being born into the family I was born into, I'm the only one that was born with a disability that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
And it's hard because there's really nobody to lean on
Bounce
family
off of.
wise.
Hmm.
Yeah, because nobody knows what I'm dealing with.
But I can relate to that. Why? Because I was adopted and nobody in my family has spina bifida. They didn't adopt another child with spina bifida. You know, my mom wanted to, but she knew that was gonna be too much. And she did want my brother at one point, but she said she didn't want us to be separated. But she just couldn't do it. That was just too much. That's too much.
Right,
Because I mean, you could say I was able to walk, and then you have him, and then you know what I'm saying. You don't know. So and he doesn't walk. So that would have been a lot. I mean,
right.
no, let's not say he probably wouldn't have been able to walk if he came to my family because we determined folks we gonna make you walk. But
No,
but
that's right.
but I mean, I get what you're saying because I don't. I did not. I don't ever really remember having a friend with spina bifida that can understand and relate what I'm going through. Till I met you on Facebook and some other people and was like, oh, this is a community. Okay, we out here.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you. Because I felt like you. I was lost. I didn't have nobody that would understand.
I felt like I was the only person alive with it, and I felt like it was punishment because I was like, these doctors can't even pronounce it correctly, and I'm like, how you a doctor and you can't
And you can't even
pronounce
say
the
it.
word? But
Spina bifida.
yeah,
Hydrocephalus.
and whatever else we got going on.
Girl, let's not talk about that. We'll be here all day.
I know that this month is coming to an end, and this month was hydrocephalus awareness month.
Yeah.
Is there anything special that you've done that you feel you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise now? Um, because
Pertaining to it or just in general?
in general.
Okay. Um, in general, I am definitely doing something that I never thought I would do, nor did the doctors think I would do. Because you
Hmm.
know they give you the death sentence of spina bifida and you ain't gonna be nothing, put them in a corner in the institution and leave them there type scenario. So
Right.
yeah, I was told I was not gonna be able to walk. I was not gonna be able to function on my own. I was not gonna be able to do anything. I'm living by myself. I'm actually doing online learning, online college with campus. I just started being a volunteer to greet people, new students, and I'm in my third. I'm going into my fourth quarter. Yeah, whew, into my fourth quarter and third quarter. I got straight A's. My GPA is 4.0. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yes. I
I'm
cannot
proud of you.
believe it. And that's God. That's nothing but God. Because when I tell you, I didn't see myself doing nobody's college, no, nothing like that, and getting a degree, associate
Right.
degree. Yeah,
Right.
that's nothing doctors have seen. Now, sometimes I wish the doctors were still alive. Because I know they're not here probably. But yeah, I wish they were still alive to say, yeah, no, you don't know. My God, no. He got the final say so.
Yeah.
Okay?
I remember um when I was adopted, they had and remind me to show it to you.
Okay.
There's a thing in the paper that they put in the paper, I guess trying to get somebody to adopt me and stuff like that. And my grandmother, biological, um, she clipped it out the paper and saved it, like almost like she knew that they were gonna find me. Um, the way that they worded things, dealing with the hydrocephalus and the spina bifida,
Hmm.
and being that I was a baby, I was 18 months old when I got adopted. Um, it's crazy. Like they had this whole like half a page of the newspaper where they
I
had
guess
a
it was a
picture
big
of me.
story, huh?
Yeah, they had a picture of me, a description of what I was dealing with, and the one word
Wild.
the one word that stuck out to me because of brain surgery, they said that I was retarded. That was the word that they chose to use.
That's
Um,
yeah. That's what they try to say when they telling the parents. Put them in the institution because we gonna be slow.
yeah, I was supposed to be institutionalized.
You too?
Um, yeah,
The devil is a
and
liar.
the one thing I can say about my mom is she wasn't going for none of that. She went right ahead and stuck me in regular education with the rest of the people.
And you
I
gonna learn
had
today.
I had no issues with retaining anything except for math. Math is of the devil. I don't care who like it, who love it, or whatever. Mm-mm.
We don't. We here to tell you right now, hydro sisters do not like math.
It, it's a common thing. Like you can actually Google it. People that have hydrocephalus and spina
Mm-hmm.
bifida struggle with math,
Struggle with math. I don't know
and
them numbers.
it's the craziest thing. But and I wouldn't wish it on anybody because
Yeah, it's not fun.
those sleepless nights that I endure
Yeah, I hate
alone
that.
is
Yeah.
just is hard because I be wanting to hit somebody up. You awake? You awake? You awake? You up?
That's
But
that's why I keep my phone off with you, Tracy.
I get it.
I love you, but I'm gonna get you up when I get up.
I get
Because
it.
a sister need her sleep. Because I'm up to like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning playing Candy Crush. So I'm gonna get my sleep. But if I see a message from you, I'm gonna get you up when I get up. I love you though.
I know. I love you too. Um, I was trying to think. I wanted to ask you, um, how does living with a disability affect you? Um, going to
I'm alone.
school and doing all of that and having a social life and stuff.
Social life? What social life? This my social
Me?
life. This my social life. You my social life. Oh my goodness, how does it affect? Well, I can't really say it affects too much because my adopted mother was no. I really wish people could have met her and my parents because I promise you, she was no joke. From the
Hmm.
age of as long as I can remember, probably 6 years old, maybe I can probably go that far. She didn't play. She did not never. She never treated me like I was disabled. She would never let my dad do it. She never. No, because she's gonna need to function on her own. She's gonna need to do for herself. And so when I got old enough to learn how to, cook for myself or cook and help her cook, she was like, "Yeah, you better figure it out because you're gonna starve. You better know how to do this." But she always spoke things over my life that I, in my mind, could not even fathom. She would speak over marriage. She would speak over me going to college. She would speak over me driving. She saw things in me because she said, "There's nothing wrong with you."
Right.
She said, "You may have something physically wrong and you can't do a lot of things physically, but there's nothing wrong with you." She said, and this is the one thing she always says, "You can do anything you put your mind." She said, and I found that out at the age of 2.5, 3 years old when you told me in the car, just miraculously, "I'm gonna walk, mama." And she said she didn't know what to do with that because she said, "Where did that come from?" Obviously God, because she said I just bust out saying it. At 3, I probably started walking around 3 years old. My sister maybe three, almost 3 years old. I
Yeah, I
started
was three
walking a
when I
little bit.
started walking.
Yeah, around 3. So she was like, "You was determined." She said, "So I know you determined to do whatever you want." So living on my own has been a different change of pace because this is the first time I've ever done that. I went from being a girlfriend, being a fiance, being a wife to being separated, divorced. So I'm like, "Oh, Father, this is a heck of a path we're going on."
Right.
But it's been interesting because why? Because I'm able to now put into action, which I was already doing anyway, but put into action how to take care of myself. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't like a partner. I'm not saying I wouldn't mind a partner, but I don't need,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because my mom taught me everything. I take care of my own stuff. I handle my bills. I handle. whatever I need, groceries delivered. Thank God they have that now. So all I have to have is delivered. I
Right.
get, you know what I'm saying? I handle my own, I set up my own insurance so I get my transportation so I can go to the doctor. So nobody has to come and help me. Because why? Because I'm trying to make sure that I don't have to depend upon nobody. My mom
Right.
never wanted that. So depending upon people is not where it's at. So I don't want to have to go back and be like, well, I need you or I owe you for doing this. Mama always said, if you don't have to ask, don't, because
Right.
you're gonna owe somebody and you don't need that. So,
And
you know,
everybody that says, if you need anything, call, they don't mean it. Because the minute you call,
free.
you either go straight to voicemail or you got to hear
Mhm.
some type of excuse or
Mhm.
whatever. So,
And I ain't
um,
got the energy for it.
mm, yeah, yeah.
I ain't got it, so
Well,
I'd rather do it myself.
we're about to come to a
About to wrap it
close.
up.
Yeah, and I just want to know if there's anything that you would like to put out in the atmosphere for maybe a child that is growing up that has hydrocephalus,
To the parents
in, in
mostly.
in school and trying to
Yeah.
maintain a good grade because you've been doing the dang on thing since you've been in college. And
This has just been January. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So if there's anything that you want to say before we head out, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, Antonio, thank you for that beautiful message. We you see, we fine, we crazy. But as for parents and students, you know, who know they have hydrosyphilis, um, I just say let your child be. Let them grow up and be who they're supposed to be. Let God do what He's gonna do with them. Pray over them. Pray over them babies. Keep them covered because people don't understand that the doctors don't know everything.
They don't.
Because I promise you, God got the final say so. I wasn't supposed to do nothing with my life. And when I tell you, I look back over my life and be like, Father, what we doing here? I mean, this lady right here made me an author through the Father. Because listen, because I didn't see none of that happen. And I was like, who, author who? No, I write what? I would do that. So
And so, but
hydrocephalus don't stop you.
I just feel like everybody has a story to tell. And
We
being that
do.
we were born with disabilities and being adopted,
We
there's
got
so
so much.
much,
We got
that
so
we
much.
can pull apart and
Yes.
share with others so that they might be able to.
Encourage. We here to encourage people, and it sounds bad to say, but it's not bad to say because we most disabled people don't want to be that inspiration for you. But
Mm,
in general, that's what God made us to be in a way. Because why? Because He wants you to see that oh, you being lazy about what you're doing. Look at what they doing, and they got to fight a harder fight to get to what you're trying to do.
right.
So it's like, are you kidding me? You really just gonna be chilling? And that's what God is saying. Y'all gonna be just chilling, and these people are out here doing it. So yeah, we here to do what God wants us to do, and if that's to inspire, we gonna inspire. I'm
Absolutely.
done.
You sure?
I'm positive. We gonna talk later.
Well, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to Delay But Not Denied, the podcast. We will be back the second Monday and fourth Friday of October. October is Spina Bifida Awareness Month.
So we'll
So
be back
we will definitely be back and we'll discuss Spina Bifida and what that's like and
in the
hopefully
fun.
educate some people. And
Hopefully, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
educate and inspire because we want the families to be able to understand that they can go and do whatever they want. You know, the
absolutely.
children can do whatever they want. Don't look at your child and think that they have limitations because they don't. I promise you, my mama didn't give me none. None. I got
Absolutely.
fingers like everybody else. And listen, I got it all. I was a normal child.
I definitely was treated normal, to a certain degree. I'll say it
Agree,
that
yeah.
way. because my
Yeah.
mama treated me like fine china. Like if you touch me, she gonna break. And so there was
Mine
a
didn't
whole
do
lot of
that.
things I wouldn't. Yeah, there was a lot of things I couldn't do because my mama
Yeah.
was scared. So
He was nervous. Yeah, that's
yeah,
understandable. Yeah.
it's not. I don't
Mine
understand it at
wasn't though.
all.
I know you're not understanding it at all.
Not even a little bit. I
I
I
get it.
tried,
I get it. I mean, you had your
but
baby, but you didn't treat him like that. So, you let him be.
right.
Yeah. So I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but again, thank you for co-hosting tonight. I look
Of
forward
course.
to the fourth Friday of October so that we can do it again.
So we can do it again.
I want to tell my audience thank you for stopping by and checking us out, seeing what we do.
Yes.
Um, come back again. The conversation is always different. So yeah, that's all I got. So thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.